Work today is rarely physical. It often looks calm from the outside, and yet, many people finish the day feeling unusually depleted. The exhaustion doesn't seem proportional to the effort. The tasks were manageable. The hours were reasonable. Still, something feels spent. The first question is where that tiredness comes from. The second is why it remains even when nothing stressful happened. The third is what part of work drains energy without ever announcing itself. This video explores those questions by looking beneath the visible tasks and into the quieter systems that shape how work is experienced, not through advice or solutions, but through patterns that repeat across many ordinary days. 1. The work that never quite ends. At first, the day appears simple. A few messages, a handful of tasks, some short periods of focus. Someone finishes a report in the afternoon. They close the document. There is no deadline panic. No confrontation, just completion. But the mind doesn't close with the file. While making tea, a thought surfaces about a message that hasn't been answered yet. Later, another thought appears about something that might be needed tomorrow. Nothing urgent, nothing dramatic. In the evening, rest technically begins. The body is on the couch. The screen changes. The surroundings are quieter. Yet attention keeps drifting back to unfinished threads, to things that could be adjusted, to small uncertainties that didn't matter enough to act on. Each one is minor, almost polite. They arrive without stress. What's happening isn't overwork in the traditional sense. It's continuity. Modern work rarely ends cleanly. Tasks are completed, but contexts remain open. Work lives inside devices that stay nearby, inside systems designed to be resumable at any moment. The mind adapts to this by staying lightly alert, not fully focused, not fully at rest. This state doesn't feel like pressure. It feels like readiness, a quiet holding pattern. Over time, that low-level alertness consumes energy, not in bursts, but in a steady leak. There is no signal to recover, because nothing clearly ended. The exhaustion comes not from effort, but from the absence of closure. Work isn't hard. It's unfinished in a way the body can't resolve. 2. The effort of constant interpretation. There is another kind of work happening quietly. It doesn't show up on task lists. It rarely gets acknowledged. Someone joins a short meeting. The topic is familiar. The outcome is unclear, but not alarming. As people speak, small calculations begin. Is this a suggestion or a decision? Was that comment serious or casual? Does silence here mean agreement or delay? Nothing is asked out loud. Everyone nods. The meeting ends on time. Afterward, the work continues. Not in documents or messages, but internally. Replaying phrases, reframing tone, wondering what was implied, but not stated. Later in the day, a brief message arrives. 2 lines, neutral words. The reader pauses before responding. They consider how it might be received. Too short could seem dismissive. Too detailed could feel defensive. So they reread it, then rewrite it, then wait a moment before sending. None of this feels difficult. It feels normal. Modern work environments rely heavily on interpretation. Language is indirect. Feedback is softened. Expectations are implied rather than declared. This creates a subtle requirement to continuously read between the lines. The mind becomes an interpreter, not just of tasks, but of meaning, of tone, of status, of risk. This kind of effort doesn't activate urgency. It activates vigilance. The body doesn't tense. The heart rate doesn't spike, but attention stays engaged. Unlike physical effort, interpretation has no visible endpoint. You don't know when you've interpreted enough, so the process doesn't conclude. It fades, slowly, into the next interaction. By the end of the day, nothing significant went wrong. There were no conflicts, no high-stakes moments, yet there is a sense of mental wear, a thinness, as if too many small judgments were made without pause. The exhaustion doesn't come from difficult conversation. It comes from continuous sense-making. Work isn't hard because the tasks are heavy. It's hard because meaning is unstable, and the mind is quietly working to stabilize it all day long. 3. The loss of clear effort and recovery. There is one more pattern that often goes unnoticed. It has to do with how effort used to be measured. In the past, work had visible weight. You lifted something, you built something, you completed something tangible. At the end, the body recognized completion. Muscles relaxed, attention dropped, rest had a signal. Now imagine a day spent moving between tabs, answering messages, reviewing drafts, attending short calls. Nothing was strenuous. But nothing was conclusive either. Effort is spread thin across many small actions. Each one demands focus, then releases it almost immediately. There is no sustained push. There is no clean stop. A person closes their laptop in the evening. The day looks light when described out loud, yet the body feels oddly used. This happens because modern work often lacks a clear arc. There is no build-up, no peak, no release. Effort is fragmented. Recovery never fully arrives. The nervous system responds to patterns, not intentions. When effort appears in small, irregular bursts, it stays engaged. It waits for the next demand, then the next. This isn't stress in the dramatic sense. It's ambiguity. The body doesn't know whether to prepare or to rest, so it does a little of both, continuously. By the end of the day, there is no moment to point to and say, that was the hard part. And without that reference, fatigue feels confusing, unjustified, hard to explain. Work isn't hard because it's intense. It's exhausting because effort and recovery are no longer distinct states. They overlap. When work, interpretation, and alertness blend together, the system never fully powers down. The tiredness that follows doesn't feel earned. It feels vague, persistent, quiet, not a signal that something went wrong, just evidence of how modern work now flows. And once you notice these patterns, the exhaustion starts to make sense, not as a personal failing, not as a lack of resilience, but as the natural result of invisible systems that were never designed to feel heavy, yet slowly became so. Sometimes, understanding that's enough to change how the tiredness is experienced, not by fixing it, but by finally being able to see where it comes from.